Good day, everyone. My name is Jon Snow, and today we are bringing you a restream broadcast on SpeedGaming 4 of the race between ScottishBrave44 and mm2nescartridge. The mode role for this race is Inverted Key Sanity with a starting flute that is already activated. I'm joined by my co-host Asmar. How you doing today, dude?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to get into this. This is the first. I've calmed a few matches. This is the first inverted keys I've actually had the pleasure to commentate. So we should be seeing some interesting non-standard stuff. This is kind of the wildest mode we have. We are starting with the flute because that kind of helps us get around the dark world in the early game, which is otherwise it's pretty restrictive starting in inverted.
Pretty hazy as well. Like, you know, you're gonna flute. We're probably gonna see someone flute over to Meyer's Shed like within 5 seconds after opening up the quote-unquote Link's house chest. From there, no one really knows. You can either flute over to VOO, get that done. If you say you get 100 rupees out of Meyer's Shed and, you know, a pod small of the other chest, you can flute on over to pod and take that dip for a change.
Yeah, it kind of makes it a little bit more equitable to the early game in Light World, where you have all of these really easily accessible checks. Usually inverted, you've got Village of Outcasts maybe, and other than that, it's kind of up in the air what you can actually get. But we'll see. We still have the opportunity to get forced into Thieves Town or Skull Woods early on with low health. Moth can sometimes be a little bit spooky if you're on 3 hearts, green mail.
And me pulling up the group information right now. This is for Group All Excellent, aka Group AE. This is just a race to close out the groups. Scottish Brave is currently 5-0. MM2's Nest is currently 3-2. This is the last game of said group. It doesn't really alternate anything. However, this is bragging rights we got to fight for, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you gotta see if you can't take the undefeated Scottish Brave down a peg before groups are over.
Put him in his place.
But it looks like we're getting started here. Both starting at Link's house, which exits into a much darker version of Hyrule than Link might have been used to.
Alright, and MM2 SNES taking that flute right to Meyer's Shed. However, Scottish Brave is going to be taking what would be the Dark South Grove.
Yeah, and this is sort of with the flute, you do have these options, right? And it does make this pretty exciting to watch because even though all of the runners are probably going to be getting to these early checks, you know, in due time, we are seeing key sanity here. Our keys are shuffled,
and we got a small key to Meyer there on Stumpy and a mushroom in Meyer's Shed. I don't think MM2 was able to walk over enough for. There it is, Ether. Flute to 3, flute to 3.
Yeah, just some early game information. Yeah, you flute to Village of Outcast, open up Thieves Town, and head right in, it looks like.
Now, very weird thing that I've been noticing lately, and a lot of people still are getting caught off guard with it, as we saw with MM2. Whenever you come down from flute invincibility, you cannot pull open that Thieves Tower. You cannot pull open Thieves Town right off the bat. It's very awkward, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually the flute doesn't work in the dark world. In inverted, everything is backwards. It's, you know, it's like we're all living in Australia, so everything's upside down backwards. So flute works in the dark world.
The flip side of the hemisphere.
Yeah, there are a couple of other things that are sort of altered, seemingly a little arbitrary. It's not entirely obvious, but you do have access to climb up the mountain in the dark world. Bumper Cave and the Mountain Access Cave in the Light World have switched places again.
Yep.
So you can climb up to the mountain in the Dark World, which is something that in my first inverted seed I didn't even know. So I didn't know I could make it up to the mountain. But there are a bunch of things like that are sort of moved around to really make it a playable mode.
Well, also just for inverted sake, there's actually a lot of other nuances too. You're going to have a bridge that actually goes to Floating Island on the Light World Mountain. You can also actually jump down to where you would usually try to save your portal for Turtle Rock's Laser Bridge. You can actually just jump down, and if you have the mirror, you can mirror there and easily check Laser Bridge without even pulling a sweat, really. Yeah,
it's there are a lot of really interesting consequences of inverted mode. It's a really interesting world state.
But man, this This Dark World opening is just pulling up really dry for us right now, Esmar. Like we only have a Myers Small and a Mushroom out of everything that our runners have done so far.
Yeah, but that being said, Scottish Brave is showing us our first look, I think, at the outside of Village of Outcasts. I don't think mm2nes cartridge checked that.
They did C-shaped, but because of the lack of money, we did not get chess game done.
Right, and that's another thing that's really impactful early game. It kind of limits you. Usually, by the time you get here, you've picked up a couple of rupee drops. We're definitely pretty stuck here on what we've actually picked up. It looks like we're gonna have to head into the front of Skullwoods for both runners, synced up perfectly here.
Which was pretty funny because MM2 went and scouted out Bumper Ledge, just a nice little visual prompt to make sure, hey, do I got to come back here later? But only taunting us with some more money. All right, we're probably going to farm up bombs and everything else here. Some good supplies. Take a Death Warp. Yep. Both of these runners are more than likely going to do that. Either that or Scottish Brave might actually brave the bridge walk here and try to take on Skull Woods. Get the bomb! Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, usually getting resources is a...
Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, getting resources is usually kind of a formality. Early game in Light World kind of sets you up pretty well. But you definitely have to go out of your way. It's consistent to get these because you don't know what you're going to pull there. Scottish Brave takes a death in the Overworld, which is not the best place to take a death.
No, especially it was basically kind of like a lottery on that one, right? The Popo went to jump up and just...
It could have been intentional. It could have been intentional because he might have wanted to go here right away and check Hype Cave here now that he has bombs.
That's a possibility, but it looked like they were on the way to the back of Skull to do Mummy Statue Room. However, good adjustment. Just, all right, I'm going to go there later. We're gone. Oh, and look, there you go. You get paid back for something that makes that room actually easier. Oh, wow. There
it is. So the Cane of Samaria didn't have too many immediate consequences, but the hammer helps out a lot, and that tells me that we're probably going to see our runners go to House of Darkness. Ooh, but he misses the hook shot in the front of Skull Woods. We'll see if he goes back.
It looks like we are going to be getting a chess game into probably more than likely a front of Skull Woods redive anyway. Oh, with a blue mail there at the pinball room. And a sword on chess. Oh my goodness. All right, we're starting to get things now.
Yeah, we're getting set up. We still don't have Light World access.
We still need a glove and a Moon Pearl for that. I wonder where that Moon Pearl actually is. More than likely behind the Lionels.
Yeah, with that hammer, we do have access to Palace of Darkness. What few checks we can get to in there. But we're going to want to see a couple more small keys before we even think about setting foot in there.
You're going to want to see at least one, because at this point in the stage, I would be very surprised if neither one of these runners know how to mimic clip. If neither of them do, then yeah, we would want a lot more than just one small key. We'd probably want 2 or 3 before we would make the dive into there. But we also still, on MM2 side, we have the money. On Scottish Braves, we do not. Uh-oh, not again. Okay.
Yeah, that's sort of the big problem of Inverted, is you start in the Dark World where things do, 2 hearts of damage, you only have 3 to spare.
Charizard doesn't have Fire Rod yet. He can't use Flamethrower.
Yeah, and that part of Skullwoods especially is it's pretty tight quarters. You've got to make sure you survive to get to the back. Absolutely. If you're a little bit careless, you can end up costing yourself minutes.
Oh man, and Quake in the back as well. Runners are just leaving everything in Skullwoods right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, might end up getting back to that later.
Oh,
it's definitely can be a measured play to not try and invest too much time into a dungeon like Skullwoods when you're low percent here.
MM2 not taking the chance, doing the chill, pretty free strat of getting the nice perfect arrow game here. Ooh, don't get Y. Okay, we didn't get Y valued. Oh, don't get it again. All right, we got it again. All right, this should be where Scottish Brave is going to be picking up the hook shot, be caught up item-wise, and probably ahead that Quake, actually, too.
Yeah, the Quake may or may not play a part here. Again, we can have up to 2 medallions that are actually consequential. Well, I guess 3 could be if we have Logical Fire with Bombos for Ice Palace, but...
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, man. We're gonna... Oh, and there's Ether, so...
That's
we
Mire
have
access.
Mire. Yep.
I'm wondering if there's going to be something in Mire then, because you can get to a fair amount of Mire without having any small keys going in.
The only thing I would wait for, sorry to cut you off, but the only thing I would wait for is actually a fire source.
That's true, yeah, because there are a couple of fire-locked checks in there. And that's one of those things that you kind of always have to keep in mind is, you know, the items might be pointing towards a location, so it's like, okay, there's a pretty good chance there's something good in there. But if I have a lot of other things that are sort of out and about, I want to make sure I can get the biggest value when I finally commit to something like diving into a dungeon.
Right, like our runners could possibly find their glove there that could open up all of Hookshot Cave as well on the mountain. Or you could find your glove in Super Bunny Cave, get your Hookshot Cave done, and find your fire source to make your Mire dip even that more appeasing.
Or a Mire could have absolutely nothing of value and be a pendant.
Oh,
that's possible.
But it's
at this point, I would think it's not super likely, given you know everything that we've got.
Well, we did get a map check actually from MM2, so it is a crystal.
Yeah. That said, though, the fact that we have access to Mire and the Cane of Samaria doesn't actually mean too much. The Cane of Samaria really only unlocks the boss, which we don't have logical access to anyway without the lamp. It's
that hook shot that's really kind of giving it away there.
Right, because that lets us go into front door.
Ooh, we're going to get an old man save on Scottish Brave side, and on MM2 side, is this going to be an Aga dip or a right side? It's going to be an Aga dip.
Yeah, now I know in the regular key sanity, they do not randomize the Castle Tower smalls. Is that true in inverted keys as well, or are they randomized? No, it is not.
The Castle Tower smalls and the GT smalls and big are just scattered all over the place. They're thrown in the item pool, much like everything else.
Yeah, that sword actually is really, really nice for Scottish Brave here. The hammer's a good weapon, but it's a little clumsy, especially if you're sitting on 3 hearts.
Especially whenever you're getting chased around by blue dagger guards. MM2 is running a little bit of a struggle there, but meanwhile, Scottish Brave trying to be a helpful citizen.
Yeah, it's also not as big of a deal when you really only need to make it to that 3rd room.
Yep. Ooh, get that fairy. That'll help you out. So are we going to get the bomb damage boost here for the Lionel?
Yeah, this is another part that's you really have to know exactly how to get past this.
Okay, there's one. Damage boost with the fire. Nice. Very well played there by MM2. Now, I know MM2 actually is a SM runner more avidly than a Zelda runner. However, doesn't mean he's not also a Zelda gamer. SMZ3 will help out those skills here for reading the logic of the seed, especially with key logic, actually, with the recent SMZ3 updates as well.
Yeah, that's been something I've been meaning to check out. I finally finished my first playthrough of Super Metroid a few years back, but I haven't touched it since.
Oh, beautiful game.
I'll probably get into it, yeah. It seems like a raucous old time. Maybe do some multi-worlds.
It's a
Maximum Carnage.
It's a game that you can kind of like, you know, pick up as like that sub game whenever you're not really wanting to run Zelda.
Yeah, for sure.
Meanwhile, while we're running Zelda, on the top of Spec Rock, we got 50 rupees, and inside Spec Rock, it's just a piece of heart. So it looks like the Mire dive here on MM2 is actually the play.
Yeah, and it's, again, having the sword is actually important, because without that, we can't use the medallions to open the front door. So given all of the items, it really seems to be pointing a pretty big finger at Misery Mire here.
Also, on MM2's side, we did not scope out TR's medallion. So we don't know if the Quake actually comes into play on Scottish Brave's side yet or not. Although I could just be spewing out of my mouth, and, you know, TR could just be a pendant, and we might not. Ooh. And MM2 getting no-scoped by that, oof. Wizrobe said no, sir. Scottish Brave kind of following in MM2's footsteps on the mountain plays here, doing the Aga dip, and then more than likely going to try to go past those Lionels.
Yeah, it's kind of like dipping the front of Tower of Hera, even when you don't have any intention of finishing it, but it takes longer and it's fewer checks.
Yep. Gotta keep following what keeps opening up for you.
Yeah, especially in a mode like Keys, where you have to generally play a little bit more thoroughly.
There are definitely players that like key modes more so for that playstyle, right? Like you have your playstyles of I just am a heavy dungeon diver, I'm a thorough clearer, I'm a person that, you know, likes to follow my items. But in keys, thoroughness is usually just the number one.
Yeah, so many items that can potentially be important, and there is our Moon Pearl.
Oh, that's a bad spot for Moon Pearl and Inverted. Oh, man. That's a rough spot.
Yeah.
So, Spike Chest in Mire, no matter what, no matter your armor, will do 1 heart of damage per. So, you basically have to almost perfectly do that Spike Chest with our only 3 hearts.
Yeah.
Now, a cheap way that you can kind of get away with it is getting a damage boost off the Stalfos for both times going back and forth. Makes it a little bit easier, but it's really Stalfos movement dependent. Oh, it's Quake!
Now, yeah, Quake TR.
Oh man,
have we seen any TR smalls?
TR smalls here don't actually really matter that much for the compass room dip that we can do here.
Right.
No, we have not seen any TR smalls.
Okay, yeah. So we can get that 1 check, but any more than that, we'd need to find
fire rod.
Yeah, if it's the fire rod, then we get another 2 here.
Oh man, I'm really curious what this first chest is going to be actually, because we're running out. We have Moon Pearl on MM2 side, which is going to open up the rest of the. Oh no.
Okay, well that's something.
That's definitely something. Scottish Brave is very happy they pulled those as this early into the seed, but MM2 is not getting those anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, you might think that that he's pretty close up here, but you know, he's got his mind on other things. He doesn't have time to be traipsing around the mountain all willy-nilly. The way that you move through the world is very, very different in Inverted.
Absolutely. And you're like we were talking about with the thoroughness and everything else, the amount of different routing that you have to think of here. Oh, don't get hit. Yep. And low hearts.
There's basically no help in that one, yeah.
Yeah, low hearts. You're trapped on the staircase. You already ate 2 cabbages. Personally, me, I would have went back in and ate the loss a little bit and talked to the old man really quick. But at the same time, too, we're trying to go fast.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you really have to balance here, especially in Inverted. Again, we've mentioned it a couple times. It's really easy to die in the early game, and any little bit of time you can save can give you just an early leg up, just in terms of how much of the world you can get to. Because you want to start unlocking checks so you can start building that that health pool. We haven't seen any full heart containers yet,
No,
or mail upgrades, so we're still pretty glass. I wouldn't even say cannons. We just got the fighter's sword.
Well, we have the blue mail, but base blue mail by itself.
Oh, right, we do have the blue mail.
Base blue mail for by itself, where we're at, doesn't do anything. We are still 2 to 3 hits from dying to things.
Yeah. Cuts it in half, but when you have 3 hearts, it will save us from like the pterodactyls.
Oh no, MM2!
Oh no! Oh boy. That's one of those silly soft locks you can get yourself into.
Oh man, he has to climb the mountain again. So, okay. Realistically, MM2 is going to be able to find a lot of things that's going to kind of open up his game more on the east side of Light World Death Mountain, right? We're going to more than likely find probably a glove. If we don't, I'll be pretty surprised.
Yeah, if the mirror shows up, that could lead to the TR dip, but it won't because he doesn't have Quake.
Well, you can jump through from the laser bridge side or also the TR big chest side But getting to Compass...
Yeah, he's not going to get all the way to the front without having Quake in his pocket. I'd missed that earlier, that Quake was one of our item iniquities. But yeah, that's definitely bad news bears.
Well, especially with it being in the mummy statue room, that's even worse news.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of all right in since the King of Samaria has now shown its face, so it's pretty easy now to get that, but it's definitely not somewhere you're going to go back to anytime soon.
Also, Scottish Brave bailing from the spike chest in Mire, so we're not going to see Moon Pearl on their side for a while either. Both these runners are just going into dungeons, getting something that the other hasn't, and then leaving.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to see how soon it sort of comes to a head, because they're gonna have to get there eventually, right? But we'll see how much of the seed they can get away with clearing before.
Okay, that small key to TR is good. That might point MM2 to look, because as much as I like seeing pain in a racer's run, I don't like seeing people without boots. That always feels bad. I want pain in the items that force last locations. I don't want pain in my runner's movements. I want them to go fast.
Well, if you don't want pain in the movement, then you don't want the boots, because you can bonk. That's the most painful sprite Link has.
Look, bonking has its uses at times. That's all I'm saying. While we're waiting on checks here, actually, speaking of bonking actually saved me one time. I was 2 hearts away.
Yeah, there's that bridge you mentioned earlier.
Oh, there it is. Yep. And we got a small key 2 pod as well. So pod looking a lot more enticing now to MM2.
Yeah, still don't have a bottle or the bow to get past the mimics without mimic clip.
Oh, and here's one of the quirps actually of Inverted. Jumping down to the mimic cave is a very quick and little perk, if you will, of Inverted. Is like you can kind of get the TR checks pretty nice and pretty quickly.
Yeah, TR chest logic in Inverted is kind of similar to entrance randomizer in a lot of ways. For that exact reason, you can get immediately to almost any of the entrances, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's all of them, but you can get like right to Laser Bridge if you have the mirror.
Yep, just straight to it. And you know, as tough as it would be with our 3 hearts and blue mail and not really an invincibility item, you could just, you know, walk bonk around it and everything else and get all 4 of those checks, because, you know, it is all in logic no matter what.
Yeah, when you do see an early mirror in an inverted seed, that can be one of those locations that is available really early on, but just gets skipped by one or both runners for a long time, just because it can be a pretty big time investment to sort of bang your head against that wall long enough to get the items.
Banging your head against the wall, bonking your head against the wall. Link's used to it by now.
Scottish Brave gonna have to completely ace the rest of this blind fight. Ooh.
No! Well, that's the part about the blind script, right? You got phase 1 and phase 2 are the ones that you really want to get down tight. But phase 3, as long as you are healthy, is usually quote unquote free. But that time, Scottish kind of ate too many hits. He got hit during the phase 2 to phase 3 transition, and that kind of threw everything off.
Yeah, it's rough. Again, 3 hearts, always kind of rough. And yep. The fighter sword doesn't help either. It feels so painfully short compared to the master sword and tempered sword.
I like this from Scottish, taking a little bit of an easier approach with the Samaria block here, to where that way they can try to stay healthier for phase 2 and 3. Meanwhile, on MM2's side, we're going to be getting the compass chest check here, and it's the big key for Desert Palace. MM2 doing a nice little parapet, get this all cleared up. Oh, come on, Emma. Oh, Scottish, no. Okay, you're gone. You just leave. You have to leave.
Yeah, that's it's one of the biggest traps you can get, is just trying to get suckered into just going again.
Good, thank you. Like, and I'm not even meaning that as in like I'm meaning that as in I've been there before. I'm to the point now. I think even my race versus Ninban last week, I died once to blind. I was gone. Like
Yeah, and it feels so bad because it's one of those things. Like blind isn't a hard fight per se. But you always have that feeling like, no, I know I should be able to pull this out.
Yep.
Meanwhile, MM2 getting the pendant. That's not the most exciting item, but
it's not the most exciting pendant, but it is, like, in my opinion, the blue pendant is actually kind of like aesthetically my favorite.
Oh yeah, it's fire. Yeah.
Well, it's not the fire crystal.
Well, speaking of fire, though, we have our fire source. So I wonder if that's going to be back into Mire.
I feel like you almost have to at this point, right? Because, oh no, we're getting a save and quit, actually, from Scottish. I personally like...
maybe Hera Basement.
Ooh, you know what? That's fair. Well, no, actually, Scottish Brave can't do that. No,
oh, right, yeah, no Moon Pearl. Yeah, because I forget which side of the screen I see things on sometimes.
So far, though, MM2, gosh, literally getting nothing so far.
It does unlock the second Aga chest. If we've seen the castle. No, because we haven't seen the castle. Or have we? Yeah, we have seen one castle tower small. Yeah.
I will point out really quick for chat and everyone watching that today, because of there's a lot of overloading going on certain APIs and servers and everything else. If the tracker does mess up, do not fret. The tracker is there. They're trying to click it. We're trying to get it working. It's just all over the place right now. There were 2 races, I think, where the tracker just straight up gave up working. All right, Scottish, what we getting? Just arrows.
Yeah, and so that's going to be it for Castle Tower, unless we somehow need to get the item on Lumberjack, which we haven't seen yet because we haven't gained access to the main portion of Lightworld yet.
Correct. And I believe that this is the flute to Mire. You know what? I have a call. I have a call right now, Esmar. Are you ready? We're going to get a Castle Tower small key in the Firelock checks of Mire.
I'm not willing to put myself on board with that. I'm just not willing. I'm not. My stomach isn't ready for that.
Oh, both of our runners are going to be heading over to pod, it looks like. Oh, baby. However, one's able to get there a little bit faster than the other.
Yeah, perhaps because of some fancy footwork or footwear, as it were.
That's Skechers. You know how, like, we could figure out custom sprites and everything else? Is there any way that we could figure out a custom sprite to where that way whenever you get boots, your feet light up like Skechers shoes, like Skechers lights? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question, actually. Yeah, and in the absence of the pod small, that's going to be it for Palace of Darkness for Scottish Brave.
Yeah, which MM2 does have the pod small, so we can keep on going. On MM2 side here, I believe that this is going to be going... Oh, are we going back into Thieves? Oh, no. All right, come on, Scottish. You got this. I believe.
It feels a bit weird, because not really in a better position in any real way.
Well, not only that, right?
Just giving it another shot,
Well, the thing is, it's keys, right? So we might have an item on blind, right? But, like, at the same regard, too, you just got Lamp. You didn't do Spike Chest and Mire. So you have 3 more checks in Mire right there alone, which already points me to more density. I'm going there, and I'm still going to wait until more hearts for blind. But this is the 3rd attempt right now. This one's looking a lot better.
Yep, just 2 more hits. 1 more should do it.
Hey, we did it. Let's go, Scottish. What do we get? Oh, flippers.
That's a good reward. You feel, I mean, that's a little bit less so. That's 2 pendants that we've seen. But yeah, those flippers are nice to have because that actually gives us access to some other parts of the Dark World without having to wrap around the south.
All right, so we got opposing first pendants here, and MM2 going for the pause buff for Mimic Clip. For those that aren't aware of how Mimic Clip works, you basically have to do a right movement for a frame and then a up movement to keep moving the red Mimic in this hallway into the wall towards a certain pixel to where it'll start to clip itself out of the room, just like so, and unlock the door.
Yeah, the game doesn't know the difference between the mimics being dead and the mimics being simply gone.
Yeah, like I've seen in MC Boss Shuffle every now and again where there's a Trinex just in the Landmo 2 room and he just swam out the hall, swam out the wall a little bit and the door opened.
Yeah, Lambo 2 has a tendency to do that. Same thing with Argus. If you
Oh, I love Argus.
get rid of the puffs, he jumps off the screen, the door opens, and you're out of there.
I've had it at times, actually, while we're getting a little bit caught up here. I've had it at times where he's just sitting there and the door opens. Like, he doesn't even jump. I just kill the last puff and I can go. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it looks like Scottish Brave is probably approaching the Moon Pearl here. Checking the Firelock chests first. Not both of them, just the one.
Yeah, well...
Maybe both of them, actually.
Probably going to be both of them. Because, you know, you really don't want to come back here for a third time, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Meanwhile, this is MM2's second time here. Low on hearts, but... Oh, man. Oh, okay. I was very worried about that right movement there because he was about to get sniped by that top Wizrobe.
Yeah, you know, your execution for this early game has to be on point because, again, we found the blue mail, but with 3 hearts, it doesn't make much difference. We're going to need to find some more hearts before we can start getting a little fast and loose with our movement.
MM2 has to wait a little bit longer before we can go fast and loose. Still waiting on those boots, which are connected to the Quake in Mummy Statue Room. That is the entrance for TR, and the boots are in TR Compass chest.
Yeah, we've got both shoes showing up for Scottish Brave. She doesn't have any hand shoes yet, though. Neither does MM2. So we've got the footwear down, but we don't know where the handwear is.
Oh, all right. We got our first heart of the seed. Let's go. that should make Spike Chest pretty fairly easier now, actually.
Yeah, you do have to fill up your hearts before we do it. At least get one more, otherwise it won't be possible. But
oh no, Scottish, please.
Yeah, it's so limiting.
I know,
it's something you're usually not used to if you don't play inverted a whole lot. Is just how limited you are in what you can do in some of these dungeons. Because usually you don't get here until you're set for it.
I honestly at this point I would almost farm that. I would almost farm that Popo room. Oh, stun prize? Oh, it's just vanilla. Oh no! Why? Ah!
And I think this is one of the things that I think makes the vanilla Link to the Past randomizer so special. Because this feels a lot more akin, inverted feels a lot more akin to something like Ocarina of Time randomizer, where you don't have all of as many like tight free checks right at the beginning of the game, which is usually what makes regular modes so eminently playable. And when you do inverted, I don't think anybody wants inverted to be the only mode they ever play in this game. It's a nice breather, but it's certainly a lot more frustrating early game a lot more of the time.
Oh, absolutely. Like I can agree with that, to be completely honest. But like we're playing inverted right now, and the runners are kind of feeling that same level of frustration at the moment. All right. Scottish has the Moon Pearl. I believe that is going to be a follow-up to what MM2 did on the mountain already.
And meanwhile, MM2 lagging behind a little bit in clearing out these available Meyer checks. But Scottish Brave schmoving up the mountain with that hook speed.
All right, Scottish did not get trapped like MM2. And there's the big key to Thieves Town for MM2, so MM2 is more than likely going to get the follow-up clear on their end as well. All right, Scottish is more than likely going to do just the mountain cleanup that we saw on MM2 side. MM2 side is currently going to just do the cleanup of Thieves, much like Scottish did.
Probably going to get those flippers.
Oh, absolutely. That one heart makes a difference. While we're following in each other's footsteps here, though, go ahead and give the races a follow if you'd like to see more Zelda action. These two individuals play more than just main tournament. They also do, on MM2 side, they do SMZ3 on Scottish Brave side, mostly ladder and everything else that your rando player usually tends to do. So if you just want more Zelda action, give them a follow. Da-da-da-da.
I wonder if that Turtle Rock small is actually going to be important now, because we're sort of running low on places to check. So I wonder if we're going to have to go a little bit deeper in, maybe at a Chain Chomp room. And gloves are just sitting there.
It could be Chain Chomp room. It could even actually go even further than that, pending if we get another small key.
Yeah, and that's one of those things you really have to just keep your head on straight and keep track of how many keys you found and what they unlock for you. Because kind of thankfully we haven't seen the mirror yet, which is really what can kind of screw up some of the early game, because you have all of those chests technically in logic in Turtle Rock. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Feel like that glove can't be too far away though.
There's no way, right? We've been here for a hot minute. Well, actually, wait a minute. Why are we not just doing Aga?
Well, because it's 4-heart Aga. I guess we do have the lamp. Without the lamp, it's kind of a hard sell, but
we have the lamp.
It takes a while. That's why we're not doing it.
We have both CT smalls on Scottish's side.
Well, I mean, for Scottish, you just got the Moon Pearl, so you're going to check this first.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not blaming that one at all.
But yeah, it's where was the second CT small? Was it in the basement of Thieves Town here?
I believe it was Big Chest. But I believe that either way, Scottish Brave is probably going to finish this up, and then okay, I was wrong. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to think of things that MM2 didn't do.
Blind Cell. Okay, I was one off.
Okay, yeah.
Well, the order of chest opening threw me off. You usually have a glove when you're here in Thieves. There it is. Way.
Yeah, so you know the flippers are going to show up, but for MM2 here, but I don't think they're going to send him anywhere.
No.
Because you really can't do anything with the flippers in Dark World unless you have a glove. If you have the glove, then you can like go back to Catfish or something. But we could do that anyway since we have the flute. It doesn't really give us access to anywhere. We could. You don't need. Flippers give you access to Ice Palace. So if we had Bombos or Fire Rod, we could dip in there. But
correct.
Thankfully, we don't have either of those either.
I mean, you can go up to the Freezor and just use your lamp a bunch. It won't do anything. But that's fire, right? That'd be pretty funny, actually.
Not magical fire.
That could be pretty funny. Could you imagine that? Just going up and spamming lamp on the Freezor and it does damage. You'd have to like chase him because it flings him across the room.
Imagine using the lamp to defeat Cold Stare.
Oh man. I mean, actually, that one would be pretty easy, right? Because you could go to the back of Cold Stare and stand there where the ice puffs just don't do anything, and you would just turn around and spam it. Oh, pause buffering! Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was slower than not pause buffering, but it got you the first try victory, which is what really matters.
I was about to say it's not slower than 2 deaths. Like
right.
We MM2 pulling it clutch there.
Being slow is always better. Playing slow is always better than playing poorly. That's like
there you go.
Rule 0 of playing really any speed game competitively.
Rule number 0, always stay consistent. Rule number 1, always go fast. Rule number 2, die going fast. That conflicts with rule number 0, though.
You die going fast until you don't die anymore. And then you go even faster.
All right, we're going to have Moldorm down here on Scottish Brave side here in just a few seconds. And more than likely, we're going to get the Aga clear on both these player sides.
Yeah, I would imagine so. We're kind of out of options total, not even just easy options. Notably, there is sort of that one extra check in Skull Woods for MM2 for that Quake medallion that is unfortunately locking the boots, but not hard locking, right? I mean, no, because we only have 1 tier small. That's not enough to get up backwards, is it? And we'd need the mirror anyway. So yeah, it is definitely. The Aga play. We are going to need to be a little careful going up here, though. We are a bit short on hearts.
Yeah, we can just play it safe, you know. Aga Tower is technically a light world dungeon. The only things that can really hurt you are the Usain Bolts and the red spear guards, and the gold chain guards. Other than that, everything with blue mail, 4 hearts, should only deal half a heart.
Yeah. But, you know, it's 8 hits. If you're, again, it's one of those things you have to sort of keep your wits about you, because a lot of the time you're used to everything being trivial in some of these places. But if you ever have to do Aga early, you can be in for a rude awakening if you are used to just kind of damage boosting quite a bit and then not sweating the details. But MM2 blazing through, taking out those red guards with the hammer, making good use of that late game item.
Oh, MM2 tried to get the speedy circle of pot strat, but without the boomerang, kind of hard. Oh, and didn't get the frame 1 hook shot. Well, Scottish Brave. Stun strats? Stun strats. I like this a lot.
It's a bit slower, but as mentioned before, consistency is definitely key. Especially when you're only on a heart and a half.
Yep, you just want this. Oh, okay, we're going to have a heart there, so that's good. Dupe it? Yeah! Both these runners, they're showing, like, inverted's pretty rough, especially if you don't play it. However, you know, whenever you are thrown in certain scenarios, adaptability is one of, like, a rando runner's strongest perceives. And, like, both of these runners are first and second in their group, right? So they're just showing off why they are first and second in the group. All right, Aga. How many we getting? So far, we have none. All right, this is...
It's perfect phase 1.
Yeah. I wish I got these in my NMG runs. Be pretty nice. Usually I get about 4 to 6. Which is still below the average. Oh my gosh.
Perfect fight.
Wow.
0 blue balls. You like to see it.
Aga being kind and being like, you know, we'll let you in the light world at 41 minutes and 36 seconds in. However, Scottish Brave, or not Scottish Brave, apologies, MM2 still doesn't have those boots. So
Scottish Brave, despite taking a couple of extra seconds with some of the combat in those rooms, ends up catching up quite a bit just from the general movement throughout.
Yep. The secret passage chest, I don't think it had anything. However, what's our uncle somehow in the light world? Oh, well, that's just mean. That's just rude, uncle. Gonna give me the arrow of destiny. Yeah, see, now Scottish Brave is gonna be able to make up all the time a lot of time up with the boots movement here.
For sure, yeah. We're gonna see just how quickly that ends up paying off. And now that we have Light World access too, there's just so many checks to do. There's virtually no chance that we don't run into the glove soon.
Oh, absolutely. I believe MM2 is either going to do the dam check up towards K45 into Kakariko, or gonna do the quick desert dip for getting Aggie into. Oh no, that's all right though. He'll push the block aside and keep on working on it. But or they'll do the desert play where it's Agina into checkerboard. Actually, no, we can't even do checkerboard because we don't have a glove. That's how much this mode can throw you off at times. But meanwhile, Scottish Brave doing the front of his gate. Ooh, powder. That's really nice for going into CAC, actually. Pretty nice cleanup there.
Right, with that hammer, we do have instant access to the magic bat.
And then we also got our first logical bottle in Dam. Looks like we're working on the mini Moldorm Cave, actually, on M2 side. I like this, actually, with flippers and everything else, too.
Right, and another thing, too, is, you know, you do have the flute, but in Inverted, you can't flute around the Light World, so you don't have access to a lot of spots that you'd sort of normally be used to doing. So, you know, you'd want to flute to 8 to check Ice Rod Cave, and you could kind of do that whenever. That's not an option. You kind of have to do it now or in another hour when it's last location. Now, the whirlpools become very handy in Inverted.
Crow is just bullying MM2. Meanwhile, Scottish, what's here in the cell? 20 books.
Now, MM2 is short on Zora money here. Not going to quite have enough unless he pulls a hundo and maybe another 10 somewhere.
Well, taking the chance here. Oh, wow, another bottle and a big key to Eastern. Ooh. I really wonder where our bow's going to end up being. Yeah, swim back to the portal and then probably go up towards the Saha area.
Nah, I think you check Ice Rod Cave here.
Right, because M2 doesn't have boots. This is the Dark Cross into the Death Warp. Scottish Brave is out of there. Oh, just short with the bomb throw.
And we see the Fire Rod there in Ice Rod Cave. It's a really good find because that's going to lead MM2 back to Quake anyway. At some point,
lead him back to Quake. It'll lead him to doing Ice Palace.
Yeah, probably not going to get back there until we see Glove. Gonna stay in the Light World basically at all costs until Glove shows up.
Yeah, I would be inclined to agree with that, actually, because we got still a lot of things. MM2 is just hard avoiding CAC. Meanwhile, Scottish is being very thorough with their Overworld start. Getting their escape done, going over here to the man under the bridge. Nothing in that Sanctuary chest.
Yeah, neither runner having quite enough rupees for Zora.
Oh, and there's our big key for Hera. I actually missed that over on MM2's side.
I don't think MM2 did the hobo, actually.
Oh, really? Just straight to Waterfall area?
Straight to Waterfall. He went straight to Waterfall, and then he came back and went over to Ice Rod.
I like this walk up to Graveyard Ledge. Both these runners are doing very... well, actually, not both of these runners. I apologize. MM2's opening for Light World is actually... I don't fully agree with it. it's very like kind of all over the place at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you are getting this check out of the way, but it's sort of isolating the two boots checks for obvious reasons. Can't do them right now.
Right, exactly.
But also leaving hobo that feels kind of weird if you're going to commit to doing some of these out of the way ones just to sort of check your.
Oh man.
Oh, I mean, he's getting ready for the fake powder, I think.
I don't blame them, but man, we're just gonna set this forest on fire.
Smokey
would be so upset right now. Come on.
Yeah, meanwhile, a big fat 0, I think, out of
Saha.
I think. I actually didn't look. I'm just guessing based on what their tracker said.
A sword in Bandit's hideout.
So, looks like Scottish actually pulled a sword too somewhere.
Yep.
Not in the Bandit's hideout.
Oh, don't have a glove. Gotta take the long way. So personally for me, whenever I first get Light World access, if I'm not contemplating the, front of escape, Uncle after an Aga clear, right? After an Aga kill, I'm gonna more than likely do Uncle. However, I'll probably go down towards Dam and do the K45 Kakariko loop I was talking about. And then we're gonna get Blind Hut here. Mushroom Turn-In was only 10 arrows. Go ahead.
I wonder if some of MM2's routing is sort of hoping that the boots show up for some of it. I don't know. You'd think you'd want to hit CAC first in case the boots were there, and then do some of those out of the way checks, make them a little bit faster, but
you would think something along the lines of like, let me make this line that gives me a good loop for as much CPM and density as possible.
Yeah, because without the glove, again, we don't have another entry point into the Dark World other than the one that into the Light World, than the one that we just got. So you sort of have to maximize your efficiency here to get as many of these checks as possible, because as soon as you go back to the Dark World, in order to do any of these checks, you have to make a pretty long trip again.
Because now, especially for the fact of the matter being that we just didn't do back of escape at all on either runner's side. If you get glove here in CAC, you could have had a much easier route coming from south to north. Handle your Lost Woods after CAC, doing your boots checks if you're Scottish, and then going into the back of escape, coming out of Sanctuary.
Now, did we see the Hyrule Castle small yet, or no?
No, we did not.
Yeah, so we can't actually get to the back.
Well, no. I'm saying if you get the glove out of CAC.
Right. If we do get the glove, but I'm trying to think, because it's
with our current loadout, right?
If it shows up, if the key shows up, then it's theoretically possible that both gloves are actually in the back of Hyrule Castle.
Ooh. Esmar, this is our first time coming together, but I like your ideas already. That's pretty nice. I like that. And yep, I agree with this on Scottish Brave side. We got the boots. Let's find out what's here.
A blind lumberjack check.
Oh, I love it. Oh!
Yep.
Oh,
that's
man.
Really terrible news for MM2.
Oh no.
That's heartbreaking.
That's great for Scottish though.
Yeah, but, incredibly good.
Yeah, MM2 is last locationing a whole chain at this point.
Yeah, the one sort of upshot is it's probably going to get funneled into that sooner rather than later, but if the other glove shows up, then that's actually pretty bad. If you can get a glove besides.
Yeah, I think this is just straight up worst case scenario at this point. Because if we get another glove out of back of escape here, MM2 has no out.
Yeah, notably with the Ice Rod Cave check, you do pick up the Fire Rod, which I guess is a little more reason to go back up to TR. If you do pull that medallion out of Skull Woods. So you're gonna get to it's gonna lead you to Skull Woods where you find the medallion, and then that might lead you up to TR, so you can open that up and see what's up there. But
man, I'm just
I'm kind of fascinated at the meanness of this one so far. We have a moon pearl on spike chest for Meyer, and your boots were in the first check, the only check of TR. Oh man, that chain is just a mess.
Yeah.
All right, MM2, what's the small key? We're the first ones to get it. What we got? Small key. Oh, Hyrule Castle. Scottish Brave, you do not want to avoid that sword.
Getting that sword.
Scottish Brave. A lot of runners, if they think they're at a decent item set, they're just kind of ready to avoid if it's a junk item in Bandit's Hideout. So you can tell by a preemptive left or a right movement. But the moment that you could tell that it's something that someone wants, they start like hitting a bunch of diagonals and going, wait, I want that. Don't jump off.
Yeah, you have to sort of fight your muscle memory for a split second there. So that is back into the Dark World with MM2. We'll see what the next play is. It looks like it might be ice.
Yep. The moment we started moving south. This is definitely a nice play. And I mean, I don't disagree with this. We're gonna get a blue goo out of the shop here.
Yeah, and it's probably fine too, right? Because you know, you do need to get that. I mean, it's not that fine because again, it's just more time you're spending without the boots. But you know, you can finish it.
Well, I think the thing. Oh wait.
Oh, okay. Back to Meyer, huh?
Okay, MM2. MM2 just flat out baiting both me and you on that one, Asmar.
Yeah, I'm wondering what the. I mean, we've seen a couple more keys, but you have to wonder what he's hoping to find down here.
I am highly curious as well, actually, because we have plenty done here currently. Except for, what? Big chest and boss?
Yeah, I mean, we did get the big key, so maybe he's following that.
But the likelihood, like, Meyer gave you Moon Pearl. That was its step in the chain.
Yeah, I mean, this is, yeah, it feels weird, no matter sort of how you slice it.
Wait, why did we... Oh, okay. I like that, actually. That's really heads up on MM2's side.
Yeah, because we don't need to check that next chest. We've already seen it.
Well, right, but not only that, the switch is still up for blue side.
Right.
So. Meanwhile, Scottish hitting up the back of the tavern, trying to sneak something out, but only gets a small key to desert. All right. So on MM2, in MM2's mind, right, you got to be thinking, I don't want to go to ice for one in logic check. Well, actually, no, it's two. That's really gross.
Yeah. That's kind of the danger with Ice Palace here, because you know you can sequence break it to hell and back. And in a non-keys seed, it doesn't usually make that much difference since the keys are all in there. You'd get them at some point anyway, as long as you have all the items.
Right.
But now you have to think about, okay, well, given how many small keys I have, how many of those checks are actually in logic? And right now, it's not very many.
No, it is not, especially minus the glove, which... all right. So MM2 tried to go for the Fire Rod spooky strat, which they did not get it. The Fire Rod was off the screen by the time it happened. And now they're going to burn some magic to try to get a fake powder here to be able to live for the Vidi fight.
Yeah, or you could just do, you know, do it perfect. Just no mistakes.
I don't know if I would necessarily do it in this room, though. This room can get kind of hairy kind of quick. Got one shot, one opportunity. You got it. Meanwhile, Scottish finishing up that cat cleanup. Let's get this Vidi fight.
So yeah, Master Sword Vidi.
You sound really enthralled on that one, Asmar.
I mean, it's It's gonna take a while. It's easy to mess up. You can do a little bit of damage boosting here, but now it's you're sort of dead on. You're one hit now. I do have a fairy, so you've got some safety. So I guess it makes a little more sense then.
Yeah, we got a fairy, red goo, and blue goo. We're all right.
Do we still have the blue goo?
We should, yes. They bought a blue goo, they had a red from the drops, and they have the fairy. So I would use the fairy in this scenario over the red goo. I'd try to save the red goose for some like really down bad chaotic stuff, especially since we're on red mail. Oh, he used the blue already.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was no magic at that point. But I was thinking maybe that wasn't what happened. I guess I was imagining that was what was going to happen if we were going to go to ice. But since we didn't go to ice. Anyway, Scottish Brave heading over here. Probably going to pick up the fire rod eventually. In just a few minutes here.
Nice. Good fight from mm2 with the bow.
Bow? Okay. Again, gonna take you other places than towards those boots, yeah.
But the thing is, in mm2's mind, they're still in logic.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest issue is that, okay, you know, you're still Quake away from being able to get boots. Boots are locking that glove, and that glove could very well lock the other glove. So we could be deep behind a long chain of logic that is going to be hard required in order to beat the seed.
Absolutely. Like, I really wonder how far down this rabbit hole is going to be taking us, because the chain to get boots, then the chain to get glove, which is connected to the chain to get glove. We found the bow on Viddy, right? As we get the fire rod on Scottish Brave's side. Nice hook speed to get out of there faster. All right, mm2 is going to be getting Quake here.
Yeah, and it's good to see the avoiding Ice Palace. That's
yeah.
it's gonna I think hopefully we're probably gonna see a Skull Woods clear here too.
All right, so we got the Quake on mm2's side. Scottish is still doing cleanup that we saw on mm2's side. However, is able to get this Zora purchase.
Yeah, which we're going to be seeing for the first time, along with the item on Zora Ledge here. Big key, gonna have to go pick that up.
Yep, we wanna nab that one while we're here.
Well, actually, do we have all of the big keys we need? We're missing Skull Woods. And that's it, I think. Skull Woods and TR. We need TR big, so. I don't remember. Did we talk to Saha? Do we know where the last pendant is?
I believe it was checked. I think it's ice. That's why it's already the pendant has a red dot on it.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. There it is. Yeah, I did miss that. Because I forgot that the other two pendants were the ones we'd gotten already.
Alright, Mash Sword Moth fight on mm2's side. Not much different than your Tempered. However, you're not going to really want to go for those dash posts. You're going to more so want to go for your spins on the fight instead.
Well done.
All right, that's 2 crystals up on mm2's side. So even though we don't have boots on mm2's side, they're keeping up their dungeon pumping.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see, though, because, I mean, Scottish Brave is definitely hasn't been playing slow either. You know, has that, you know, distinct advantage with the boots just making you automatically faster, but also hasn't been dropping too much time here. It did spend some time clearing Light World for checks, which you do when you have the boots.
Oh, of course. It makes those lines that I was talking about a small key to this dungeon. This game is just mean. Like we were talking about earlier, you know, density lines and everything else, you know. Scottish is just able to clean up that.
Loot away from the mountain. Okay.
4? What do we got going on here? MM2?
Eastern, I imagine.
More than likely. Well, MM2
probably
doesn't have
probably waiting on Mirror to really hard commit
TR.
TR, yeah.
Yep, I can see that, especially since MM2, like I said during the beginning of the race, didn't scope out the TR medallion.
Yeah, has no idea that he can get in there now either.
And go pretty far actually too with the 2 TR smalls and Fire Rod. We didn't have that before, now we do. So there's potential that more things could also be in TR.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about Key Sanity is you really have to keep that in mind and play that game of, okay, well, how long do I put off a dip? Because a lot of the time you have to make a dip at some point. And TR is one of those big ones, especially in inverted, because there's so many ways you can get access to different checks in there. Meanwhile, MM2 picking up the third sword there.
And then the last small, to my knowledge, from Meyer. So that puts all of our Firelock stuff in logic. I can't get over the small key to this dungeon. Anytime I play a Key Sanity and I open a chest and I just see my key count go up, I'm just like, ooh, Sahabat. Or ooh, Sick Kid. Whichever one you're playing on, you know? Alright, this is the Eastern play from M2. We can full clear this, and it's all in logic. We got the lamp, we got the bow, we got the big.
Yeah, unfortunately, another dungeon that is made quicker with the boots by a not insubstantial margin.
And then Scottish Brave is going to work on getting their bow. So right now, the only new checks that we have are going to be on MM2's side. This is really the only time that MM2 has to, like... Oh, man. Well, thankfully, we're not at our 3-heart situation like we were before.
Yeah, I'm just sort of trying to think here. How does MM2 sort of make this up? I feel like the win condition is you have to be able to get everything necessary to clear TR before going in, and that would sort of let you make up some of this time. Like if we get Ice Rod, if we get enough smalls to make it all the way to the back, you know?
Yeah, the big problem for MM2 is if we get the mirror and Ice Rod, they're more than likely not getting those boots for a while. However, we might not even need mitts. We might only need 1 glove. So if there's a glove on Laser Bridge and we find mirror along the path, MM2 might get bailed out. But again, the lack of boots movement is just kind of rough.
Yeah, definitely, regardless of where the items are placed. There's the mirror. Actually, that's pretty decent, because then you can combo this into pod. On the other hand, so can Scottish, and she's going to be able to do it faster.
And she has boots. Oh, man.
So, yeah, so you've really got to just play out of your mind just to... You know, it's like you're racing somebody and they've got Heelys on, you know? It's just not fair.
I'm telling you, the Skechers with the flashing lights, man. What were they? Oh, dude, what were they called? This is going to bother me. They're just called light up shoes? That's so lame. S-lights, that's what they were. You know, it was funny, chat. I was forewarning Esmar that coming with me will be an experience at times.
You know, I haven't worn light up shoes in an age. It's been a long time. I think my feet are probably over twice as big as they were the last time I wore shoes like that.
You know, I really hope that, you know, I get the future that my grandparents and everything got, and I get to go, you know, I'm in a retirement home that's not really that bad, you know, and I want to skate around in Heelys whenever I'm in my 80s and just being like, catch me if you can.
Gotta take care of those bones. Make sure your ankles don't give out on you.
I drink a lot of milk. I'm like milk. I'm like Link in Ocarina of Time, man. Gotta have that moo moo milk.
Ooh, Scottish Brave taking a
no.
fall there. Probably has a fairy. Yeah, because there was one free in a bottle, but it's definitely a long animation. She's gonna have to sit through there.
Okay, keep slashing. You got this. Get a nice spin. There we go. Yep. So a good pattern to like make it to where you're in a little bit of a safer one is slash up, and once Viddy is past the green goo, like the darker green goo, you can start walking down and charge your sword and then walk back up and release the spin. It should send Viddy back up to the uppermost wall. And you just kind of keep repeating that pattern. For those of you that ever get into Viddy without a bow. If you get a bow, just shoot it 8 times. 2 with silvers.
Yeah, Viddy playing a smart game here, hiding the bow so it can't be used against it.
Hiding his true weakness. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
But yeah, as expected, we do see the Palace of Darkness play with that mirror.
Yep, and then it's the Eastern play on Scottish Brave's side.
Catching up.
It's a bunch of time makeup, and whenever the thing is that whenever MM2 gets those boots, MM2 is more than likely going to do the same overworld that Scottish Brave did.
Yeah, now, did MM2 do the... Yeah, they both did Front of Castle, right? Or no? Was that only Brave? No, they both did it. Or did they? I'm getting seed bleed now.
Shoot, what was it again?
Just the front of Hyrule Castle, the escape sequence.
Oh, we got powder out of that. We got powder out of that.
Okay, yeah, so MM2 has not done it.
Correct.
But did end up checking the powder with fake powder, so...
Yes, so MM2's bases are still cleared with that.
So that is a potential sort of path there, is if MM2 can continue to put that off. Words out on if he'll make that call, but that's time that can be saved to sort of help offset the movement deficit.
Yep.
It's basically all you can do is when one runner has boots and the other doesn't, is you just have to check less things and get away with it.
That's been a pattern in a lot of races today. The match before that I was watching with Krithel versus Radical Sniper earlier. Radical Sniper got boots at around the 12 to 13 minute mark that were on Catfish and inverted keys as well. And Krithel just did not go to Catfish until the hour and 4 minute mark. And it's been a huge disparity in races today. Bonk. Bonk. Slash. We got red mail. We could just face tank all of this. All right. What's Helm I got? Sooner or later, it's going to force MM2 into TR, though, if we don't get any progression here for them. Yep. And out comes that flute. I'm going to have to guess that it's going to be a flute to mountain.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, so the big key that was on Zora Ledge, was that TR?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So MM2 is gonna have to go back there. Potentially. No, actually, yes, you do need the big key. Or do you?
Yeah,
is the big key door just... Okay, yeah. There's another one at the end of the dungeon, correct?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. I don't play enough keys, so I sometimes forget.
Oh, it's all good. That's what I said. I got you. All right, MM2 doing the front of escape here. Gonna get that powder and...
Yeah, gonna lose that time. Yeah.
And Scottish Brave gonna be doing some cleanup here.
Yeah, so this is actually pretty bad for MM2 here, because not only is this time gonna be given back to Scottish Brave for free, but it's also gonna be with interest here because of the lack of boots.
Yeah, especially doing the dark cross check and everything else.
Might not do the entire front, might just take this all the way through to the back. I would guess, though, you go through to the back with that small key that you got, and then mirror back and then do the front.
More than likely. I mean, it is a better way to keep your CPM up. Well, actually, we're gonna be getting the back of escape into. Yep, you're right. I'm currently being attacked by dogs. I apologize. Stop it! Ow!
Gotta get that blue mail.
Gotta get that blue mail. I need the mail right now. They won't stop calling me. We're getting a lot of backtracking checks. And oh, that's where the big key to ice was.
Okay, pod small. Now I wasn't paying super close attention to MM2's run through pod, but was anything left on the table, or was it a full clear?
Man, I really want to say that the six key logic items were actually left behind. I can't say for certain. We're more than likely going to get a full clear.
Okay. Chad is saying he didn't do the back, which kind of made sense in terms of time logic to me. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with only 3 pod smalls. MM2 opted to kill the boss, right?
Yeah, like with that for a full clear, you'd have to do the hammer jump at least.
You'd have to do the loop around through the mimic side as well.
You'd have to save every possible thing. I think 3 is the smallest amount you can get away with doing a full clear with it if you use every trick in the book. And he entered with 2, so yeah, he didn't even have the 3rd. He just got from the back of escape. So
right, so definitely not doing the back in that case. Meanwhile, we're going to be getting the Zelda Cell here, and then Scottish Brave is going to be doing the Helmasaur fight. Since we're going to be coming down here to Helmasaur, Helmasaur's sibling. I don't know if it's a male, female, or anything in between. I like Rafflecoptersaur. That's what I call it. I know it's a Coptersaur or what's the other reference? What's the other reference name for it? You know which one I'm talking about.
I know the boss you are referring to.
Recently, for MC boss practice, I got one in the back of Skull Woods, and I was like, okay, this is normal. But then for some reason, 2 of the spikes moved, and I couldn't do anything. I think I was on like 6 hearts green mail. I died. It was not a good time.
Yeah, so I'm trying to keep track here of what kind of... I think MM2 still technically has a distance lead right now, but it's definitely going to be very slight at this point. Exited Hyrule Castle, which is sort of the point where the checks have lined up with what Scottish Brave has done. Looking to be a little bit, probably about a 1.5 minute difference between the 2 of them, which is really spooky when one of them has boots.
Yeah, and then especially like we've been talking about almost, for about an hour now, just boots make that CPM climb up so much faster than having to walk and navigate, especially in inverted.
Scottish Brave gonna dive back in and do the back here. This could be pretty big if there's something back there.
Especially since MM2 got that small key from back of escape pretty late, so I doubt MM2 is going to be going back there anytime soon. Much like the boot scenario that MM2 is still finding themselves in. Compass to Thieves. These are new checks for us.
MM2 grabbing that bomb to skip the portal.
Yeah, to where that way they can put themselves on the bottom side, so that way they wouldn't accidentally bonk. I was really really heads up on their side. Man, having to do purple chest this way always just feels pretty nasty. Pretty sure though that MM2 could have just mirrored and fluted at this point though. Or no, wait, no glove. Never mind. I'm confusing who has what now, because we're reaching that hour and 20-minute mark here soon.
And for those of you that are just now starting to keep up with main tournament, what you are hearing right now is not A Link to the Past music recently for SpeedGaming. And oh, that was Ice Rod out of Big Chest.
Yeah, so okay, I think MM2 now definitely officially has a pretty rough race out of him.
Yeah.
Basically, the only hope was that everything, and I mean everything, broke his way for the entire rest of the seed.
Mm-hmm. You're hoping that the rest of his stuff would be on Laser Bridge, and
you know, it makes perfect sense here the way he's been playing it. He's like, you know, he's done a couple checks in between here, but he's been chaining all of the crystal dungeons he can do together.
Not only that, he's been trying to efficiently go to where his logical precision is, while still keeping his CPM like in a stable position. But man, that just made it rough.
Yeah, I mean, like it was rough before, right? But there was still hope. You know, there's still a possibility that things could go in such a way that he was handed everything he needed to. He could get bailed out by the other glove. He could find everything he needed to along this path. And if Scottish Brave ended up, you know, being a little more thorough, even though because of those boots, you know, but with now it has to go back for Palace of Darkness.
Not even just Palace of Darkness at this point.
Yeah, and honestly, at this point, it's pretty likely that the play into Turtle Rock is going to come before the full clear capability. Whereas I think Scottish Brave is just about in go mode, just missing that GT big.
And still, I believe, missing the Swamp Small as well.
Oh yeah, Swamp Small. Yeah, we do. Yep, Swamp Small, Key Sanity. Yeah, so no, I think that those are the last two items that we haven't seen yet.
And then the last thing, though, too, to catch you on something, Asmar, we need the book.
Ah, yes, because Desert is a crystal. I definitely had missed that.
Well, a lot of people are used to the normal way of getting into, well, quote unquote,
the abnormal way.
The rando normal way of getting to Desert Palace, which is just a quick and beautiful mirror from the Mire area. Scottish Brave going to do Crystal Ruler Room. I wonder if Scottish Brave is going to mirror here and then kill Trinex. Because if you do that, that pops you out in the front. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, and then you just go in through the front door.
Yep. Saves your key. Does a lot of good things for you routing it this way. Props to Scottish. Ah, the shield. I was like, why'd you put a bomb on it? MM2, you should pick it up. Shields matter too. Shields matter too. At least one does. All right, Scottish, what does Trinex have for us? I still think to this day how the A Link to the Past developers back then made the sound of bosses being hurt, right? I really think they just recorded their office cat and just baritone like mixed it. It does just sound like a monotone bassy cat for every boss. All right, meanwhile, MM2 making the way down to TR. watch.
Yeah, the good news is the boots are probably going to be gotten at some point here. The bad news is it's it's not the optimal order.
That's the unfortunate thing with rando, right? Sometimes one runner hits it, the other one doesn't. Sometimes both runners hit it, and then whoa. And then other times both runners don't hit it, and you have no idea what's going to happen. And that's the whole reason that we watch and do these races. Which, speaking of, give the runners a follow. They're the ones putting the show on for us to continue the main tournament extravaganza, the festivities. Meanwhile, we're getting bombs and a compass out of the right side checks. Mirroring and more than likely going to do chomps? No, we're gone. Unless I missed chomps? We're getting a hookshot cave from the backside here on MM2's side.
Going to have to because Scottish Brave there can pull up the rock. MM2 does not have that option.
To point out really quick, this is actually really good inverted knowledge on MM2's side because this is in logic. Some trackers will actually not show you that this is in logic, so be careful with that. But if you have the mirror and you have Dark World access, but you don't have a glove, you can mirror on Floating Island and backdoor hookshot cave like this.
I imagine we're going to see... What are we going to see here?
Jump down to Laser Bridge mirror. Yep.
Meanwhile, Scottish Brave heading back over to right side of Light World Death Mountain.
What did we miss on Scottish Brave's side?
Yeah, I'm kind of curious here myself.
I don't think...
Spiral Cave, maybe?
Maybe.
That's about the only thing that's over here in the Light World that you would have missed. Oh no, just get in the middle of TR. Okay.
Big chest and then reverse way to Chomp Room and Lava Bridge chest actually too is still in logic as well with that key. As long as we use it the right way though. However, if not, we would need another TR small actually for this to be in logic. So never mind, I take that back. However, this is how you full clear TR without needing those smalls. Run from the bunny beam. What happens to Charizard if they get hit by the bunny beam? They just turn into Charmander?
I believe so, yeah. I think we actually saw it earlier on in the seed when Scottish Brave was escorting the old man to his chamber.
That's amazing. Oh! Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, not much you can do there. Has to use the fairy that Scottish used earlier on Vidi. So MM2 holding it until this moment. But now if we were only measuring by the amount of distance covered on the ground, like if we were measuring these seeds as a progression from you start at the beginning and you end at the end, Scottish Brave is now coming up and the gap has been closed, to say nothing of the equipment and knowledge gap that was already an issue. So from here on out, Scottish Brave is just extending this lead.
Oh, even more so than... Oh my goodness, another one. That's 3. For anyone keeping track. And we're going to be getting the flute away on Scottish Brave's side. I would believe 2-3. Yep. You know, Asmar, the theme of the Dark World. It's a wonderful theme.
It certainly is.
I'm not going to do it. I want to do it. I'm not going to do it. Because it's the theme of the Dark World. All right, we're getting the Skullwoods Big Chest check out of Scottish Brave after we're done falling in the pit. Spin setup, nice and good. It's just a small...
But, you know, probably gonna find something nice, I'm gonna guess.
More than likely should be an Ice Palace play here soon. The theme of the Dark World. The theme of the Dark World. Ah.
Yeah, we've got MM2 still going up TR all the way backwards.
Well, at least this way, though, MM2 will actually get the boots.
Yeah, it's cold comfort.
Man, you are... That's to my heart. It's a dark place. That's menacing and the dark, the theme of the Dark World. That's a good one, Mario. I like that. Yep, don't slash your sword there, MM2. That would have been pretty bad. Oh,
And
man.
there are those boots.
And then I think what's going to happen here, too, is MM2 is going to do the right side firelock checks and either mirror out of here or go out. And then just, if they see that it's Quake for entry, man, that's just not going to feel good.
Yeah, and yeah, that's that especially. But even worse is going to be again if those the mitts or the glove on Lumberjack is actually forced, then that's going to be even worse. MM2 doesn't know the half of it.
And I know I just typed it, but for those that are not able to see chat, it has been over an hour difference for the boots. Scottish Brave pulled them near the beginning of the race, and as we just saw MM2 get them now. It's gonna be a mirror here. Nope, it's gonna be a save and quit. I like that too. You know, turn a blind eye, MM2. You don't know it's Quake. You'll never know it's Quake. It's okay. All right, we've all been there. And Scottish is just going to be doing quick and efficient cleanup with what is left.
Yeah.
On the side.
And MM2 again, like all of the choices that MM2 has made, and none of them have been terrible. You know, they've all been pretty decent checks. It's just the slight disparity in how the early game played out. It didn't ever make quite as much sense to go and check the front of TR, and so it made absolutely no sense to go and check the Lumberjack once you get into the light world. So,
yeah, like, because then after this on Scottish Brave's side, right? It's gonna be. It has to be the Ice Palace play here eventually.
yeah, and like the only win condition that MM2 had was that you wouldn't have any extraneous stuff to check, because you know pretty early on he made the play to be like, okay, I'm really just going to start lasering dungeons that I can clear, and that lasted for a pretty long time, but what he needed just didn't show up.
And then took that redive into TR just really late. But I mean, again, it's rando. MM2 was following what they had perceived as a good route for what they could follow in logic and everything else. And you can't really blame the player. You can blame the game a little bit, but you can't really blame the player for those kind of decisions.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a single. Well, maybe not. I won't go that far, but I haven't seen too many plays from MM2 in this race that I would say, well, that was definitely super questionable. It just hasn't been his race today.
All right. So on Scottish's side here, more than likely a Flute Ice Palace meet up MM2. Did MM2 mirror on accident?
That's a good question.
I think MM2 mirrored on accident.
Maybe he just wants the practice here. Oh, I think no. Mirrored because wanted to flip the switch. Didn't do it the first time, I think. Or no. Without the you can't keep going without a glove.
No, can't. Not that way.
Yeah, we mirrored, but on purpose. Very much on purpose.
We are still getting new checks though on MM2 side. Just the lack of glove, it's gonna make it to where Atrium might have something at this point. Like, if it has book, that's basically GG at that point. I don't know how else. I really can't think of any outs from him too. Not anymore.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much done and dusted here. Like even if the big thing is like having to go back to pod for the ice rod. If that ice rod was in hand at this point, then there maybe would still be a win condition. But
yeah, if you were an MM2 fan, you really wanted that ice rod on Laser Bridge, but unfortunate that ice rod was just in that pod big chest, and I don't think we're going back there for a minute.
Yeah, and even if we did have the ice rod on MM2 at this point, Brave is way too hot on his heels. It's just would have to have an ice rod and have completed TR at this point. Which,
exactly.
It's a little bit too big of a deficit to make up. So Scottish Brave is going to have to make some pretty big mistakes to lose this race at this point.
Well, let's take a look here. Oh no, this is just, I was right at the beginning of the stream whenever I mentioned about the groups. I thought that they might have had 2 games to play. Nope, this is it.
Yeah, this is the final game for all the marbles. Won't make any difference in the actual results of the group and who goes on. So the consequences are pretty much nil. Might affect seeding a little bit, but either way, I think both of these are the top 2 runners in their group. So both of them will be continuing on to brackets.
If the race continues the way that it is, this will put Scottish Brave at 6-0 and MM2 at 3-3, still qualifying for second.
You know, part of the 6-0 elite.
Meanwhile, we're just getting some cleanup here on the Ice Palace side. We'll find out what Cold has.
Yeah, MM2 was unable to do it since it does require use of some powerful mittens.
You gotta have those hands. You gotta be willing to show Cold that you're willing to catch them and throw them at the same time. But MM2's not doing either one of those. MM2 is probably gonna run up the Grove side here. This is gonna feel really bad.
I mean, I would hate to see it on one hand, but I would also love to see just an instant FF. There's no way any of these competitors would do that. Like,
no, not whenever we're restreaming on main, but like, we're gonna get probably like what, Bonk Rocks in the King's Tomb first. Yeah, we're gonna get Bonk Rocks in the King's Tomb first. Oh no, never mind.
No, we're not. Okay. But yeah, it would be funny to see, but you know, you'd never have any of these racers do that. You know, if it's not over until it's over. So
we're gonna scope it out first, MM2. Okay.
Yeah, in case he doesn't have to.
Oh, and then there it is. Oh man, my heart. I mean, we knew it was gonna be a last location. We just didn't know how far of a last location. Meanwhile, Scottish getting pretty up close and personal with the Cold.
Yeah, it was a little spooky.
I don't think that was flamethrower. I think that was fire spin at that point.
Flame wheel, perhaps.
Ooh,
I don't think
like
any
that
self-respecting Charizard would be caught using fire spin, even against an ice type.
Yeah, fire spin is a special attack, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's also just garbage. It's only good in Gen 1 because those moves are broken there.
Well, yeah, because like the power scale values are really off because like you would
Yeah,
have
and the fact that your opponent doesn't get to move or do anything during the duration.
and, like did a weird lockup and everything else.
Yeah, everything is broken in Gen 1.
Yeah, like Earthquake especially, right?
I mean,
Like-
Earthquake has pretty much always been broken. Dig. Now, Dig is interesting, because Dig is basically one turn of invulnerability, and then second turn you just do Earthquake, because it was 100 power. But I digress. We see Scottish Brave heading over here to turn in that green pendant.
Yes! Oh, that was such a good skit. Let's go. That was nice. Oh, small key to swamp. There it is.
Swamp Small. Yeah, it's just adding insult to injury. Just piling on MM2. Not only do we not get that second glove to bail him out, not only does the Ice Rod not show up where it needs to, but you need to go back into Ice Palace to get the small key. You have to go back into Pod to get the to get the Ice Rod, and just all of that out of just not getting up towards Really, it was just not doing a vanilla big key chest in Skull Woods, really, and not having the opportunity to dive into the front of Turtle Rock for the boots.
This isn't a potential hope for MM2, or an out or anything, but we are getting to the point where Book can literally just be on Ped.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's still not. That's still bad news for MM2.
Yeah, because then that's just more rewinding and back and forthing and everything else. MM2 is just... This is just
several things to last locate at this point.
Oh,
after
man.
already last locating the gloves.
This is one of the reasons that some of us, like I know Shkoopel does it, I know I do it every now and again, and some other runners, they'll just be like, whenever they're playing, they'll just be like, I love Zelda. And this feels like one of those seeds for MM2. Our Scottish is just, cruising right on along and getting this Swamp Palace clear. We get our first new checks here in a hot minute, actually. We get the map from Aga Tower.
Yeah, so right now we're missing Book and GT large key. In Swamp, we've got a lot of checks here. Fairly decent chance of it showing up here. But if not, no worries. Scottish Brave has plenty of the seed already cleared out, so...
Oh, it's been so long. I forgot what Agina had, actually. That's why I forgot. And... speaking of Dig from earlier for the Pokemon Gen 1, how much farther do you think MM2 is going to dig into last locating themselves for other items?
I mean, it's got to end at some point. At this point, he's just grabbing all of the glove checks.
Oh, which I don't... It's one of those things, right? You're sitting here like, it's all right. Oh, that was fast.
I think that might have been frame perfect.
That was fast. That should have been a bonk.
But yeah, like at this point, it's like, okay, well, you follow that glove that you just got, or you just redip dungeons on a whim. And I know that happened to me in one of the qualifier races. Like I like checked like the first chest in Ice Palace or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but like I just did everything else instead of going into the one place I needed to go. And you're kind of like, well, you're screwed if you're wrong either way.
Yeah, like more so in layman's terms on that one. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like you can't really recover from that. Because once it gets to that point, we're going to get the pod big chest here on MM2, which is going to lead to Ice Rod, which is going to lead to the Trinex kill. And it's going to lead to the Cold Stare kill, too, since we just got that glove, too. Like, it's just... There's just a whole chain, Asmar. And me and you are along for the ride.
Yeah, we're going to get a look at this here. This could be Did we see this from Scottish Brave?
Left Side Swamp? Or
No, this.
Oh, vanilla.
That chest,
No, I don't think we did actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Oh well,
I guess it's. Well, that's
that was it.
that's interesting. I guess that we didn't see that, but it's not going to be important.
Nope. Oh man, that heart container would have been nice about an hour and 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, and again, even if that had been book, it would have been. It still is just dire.
Scottish Brave gets there faster than MM2 gets to anything else.
Yeah.
Man, this is why the addition of inverted key sanity, well, not even just inverted key sanity. Whenever it first started for main tournament, inverted was brought up, and oh boy, did that Discord pop off. I'm sure a lot of people in here know, the conversations that were happening and everything else. But everyone was like, inverted this, inverted that. And a lot of the talk was just about inverted. And everyone was like really scared of the low percentages. Well, adding the keys, making it a key sanity mode, made it to where that way the low percentages would happen less often. They would still happen, but they can happen less often. Adding the activated flute made very scary possibilities come up, like the 3-heart Moon Pearl on Spike Chest in Mire. That's a possibility that can't happen in normal inverted. And we saw Scottish Brave struggling with that at the beginning of the seed. But as much as you could see with how keys can make so much of a volatility in this mode, that didn't even matter at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff. The inverted, it's still kind of a. I don't want to say it's early days of the mode. It's been around for a while now, but it's definitely not as simple as you would think. Like, the idea is easy enough to come up with, but the actually implementing it and putting it into practice is a little trickier than you might expect. There's a lot of things that you need to shuffle around about the way the world works on a fundamental level. You got added bridges, added ladders.
Yep. Different hammer pegs, different glove pickup spots. Your portals are now in the dark world as opposed to the light world. There's a portal behind Link's house at the screen where the bridge would be in the light world for if you kill Aga in the dark. There's
Interestingly enough, I think there is a portal still in the light world.
Is there?
There's a portal in the light world, I think, in the spot that leads to there's something near Ice Palace that's kind of redundant.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's still the normal Ice Palace portal. You can use that one still. Yep.
Right.
Oh, we got book here on Scottish. It must have been on Argus.
Yeah, it was in one of the diver down chests.
We're looking for a GT Big on our way to desert. However, with everything else that we have cleared at this point, your GT Big is either Ether Tablet or GT.
Yeah, and we'll see if Scottish Brave decides to scour the ends of the earth before going up there, but either way, it's not really gonna be a huge hunt, because again, with all of the things you need to find in a mode like this, we've kind of seen everything.
Man. I know we're going to be scouring for the GT Big more, right? On Scottish Brave side. But at the same time, too, how would you do this, Asmar? Would you play for Go mode for GT?
I think I would, honestly, because it's kind of a density play, right? And it's like, do you want to lose the race to only to find out that it was in there? Nice last sword there, by the way. But do you want to go and make sure you clear everything before you commit to GT? Or do you leave one or two things that you skipped out on earlier and just assume, okay, it's probably up there?
Right. I would say I would probably hit the things along the way.
Yeah, you hit the things that you can do quickly, but I don't know how much is still left on the table for Scottish Brave at this point.
I probably wouldn't do right side. Yeah, exactly. I probably wouldn't do right side of desert, right?
I think I would. If you have boots, it's not that big of a thing, and you don't want to go through desert and just leave it in there. But after you get your last crystal and you're the next thing you have to do is find the big key and go up GT. I mean, there's 22 checks in there. It could be on one of them.
No,
Yeah, and the only thing
wrong.
that's not on the mountain is the pedestal. So
Right, and then on top of that too, we full cleared Hera, right? Or did we not do the basement?
I feel like somebody might have done the basement, but again, Seed Bleed.
I thought so too. Yeah, but I haven't played a Seed today. I'm the one that's confusing it this time.
Yeah. See, I calmed a Seed last night, so
Ah,
I'm not entirely completely sure.
oh, you don't have
who did
Seed
what
Bleed.
when.
You have Seed Hangover. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Because the other thing too to think about, right, is that we also have 3 GT smalls, one more GT small, and that's the entirety of basement in logic. Right now, the only part of basement of GT not in logic is Rando Room. That's a lot of checks in GT. Is that the 4th GT small? No, it's another pod small. I wonder if Scottish Brave is just gonna make the play straight to GT or do some overworld cleanup. At this point, I think you just go. You just go to GT.
Yeah, checking ped is not super easy and inverted.
No, it's not. Well, actually, it is. You just flute to 3, mitts up, and
Well,
then
we also
up.
have Pyramid Fairy, right? Or no? Yeah,
we have
do.
Pyramid Fairy as well. Yes, we do.
Yeah, so
Pyramid Fairy
I feel like you
just
do
how I
that
do it.
instead of heading to ped. I'd probably leave ped dead at this point, but you know, maybe you do go for it.
At this point, maybe taking the big bomb up. Yep. Taking the big bomb up on the way to GT with you is not a bad game plan at all.
Yeah, because notably Ganon's Tower is not on the top of the Dark World mountain.
Nope. Already took over
Instead
Hyrule
replaces.
Castle.
Yeah, he's in Aghanim's tower here, Castle Tower.
Hyrule's already all his. We're just fighting from the other way. He just changed it on us a little bit. It's like Bowser's Inside Story of the Super Mario Saga, but flipped the other way on its head, you know? I'm actually really curious if it is here in Pyramid Fairy, because if so, I would actually lose in this matchup too. Is that a small? Oh, that's a small for pod. This is the this looks to be the green pendant turn in here on MM2 side. There's your swamp small, my friend. Enjoy your swamp palace. All right. Scottish Brave, where are we going on the GT basement? We're going to be doing Hope into possibly full right. Okay. Got 300 rupees on the left chest and man, where were all these at the start of the game?
In Ganon's Tower, I believe. I don't think they've moved.
At this point, chat, if you want to go ahead and try to guess for the GT big, go for it.
Yeah, I wouldn't
not
guess
gonna
one or
guarantee
two yet.
Yeah, we're not going to guarantee it, but it might be here.
It's I feel like it's either here or on ped.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, like you could say it's like, oh, if it's on ped and it's the last location for Scottish Brave and MM2 like manages to get it there. I don't think that's even if that were enough. I think that yeah, there it is. The big key. But even if that were enough, the chances that Scottish Brave would like guaranteed you'd get the silvers, which MM2 would then probably skip, so it would probably come out in the wash anyway.
Okay. I haven't seen anyone do hookshot strats there. I want to time that, but I'm probably going to say that that's slower, and it doesn't save you a heart. Adds a lot of inconsistency lag there, like really badly. Ooh, come on. There we go. There's one. There's two. All right. Well, while we are doing the GT climb, I would like to thank everyone on the crew. I'd like to thank my co-com Esmar here for co-comming with me. Our tracker Jaxie for doing the buttons and the pushing. And SpeedGaming for showcasing these two runners' final games in the group stage as they move on into the brackets, no matter this result anyway.
Yeah, we're getting pretty close to the end of the group stage here. So things are going to be really kicking off with the brackets starting soon.
Yes, I believe there's a week off. For those of us in brackets, there probably isn't going to be a week off. Everyone's probably going to be, you know, doing secret monk training and doing all their practicing during the downtime anyway. It doesn't stop for the people that advance into brackets, you know. Everyone wants to be on top of their game, but it is a week break for the restreaming and for the crew and everything else. We get a nice little breather, Esmar, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Actually, I don't even get a breather. I have a game tomorrow. MM2 doing the left side of Swamp here. Makes sense. We're still looking for the book and GT Big on their side. Maybe hoping that Scottish Brave skipped it at this point. Well, we still have.
I don't think there's much hope in MM2's play here anymore. You just kind of have to.
Well, they definitely have
you
race
just,
time room open.
Yeah, you just don't want to make any more mistakes at this point. Like you don't skip anything else. Like you're done with that.
Yeah.
That nonsense. Like what? You're gonna last locate like 3 things and then skip left side swamp? I don't think so.
No, not in the same race. No. You kind of get to that point where you're like, all right, come on, seriously, you know what I mean? Like it kind of just your subconscious starts fighting your brain at the same time, going, dude, stop it. We're not gonna even open these for silvers, Brave. I know we got butter, and Ganon can't believe it's butter.
I mean, yeah, it's honestly, I don't think you maybe check this one for silvers. You maybe check the last chest for silvers, but you don't need silvers too bad if you got all 4 sword upgrades.
Yeah, but it cuts phase 4 down by about 45 seconds. It's a decent time save. I mean, unless it's just here in validation chest. We're not even gonna find out if it's validation chest, Brave. Oh.
I mean, and the thing is too, we found the key so early on in the basement that chances are just pretty good. It was just way down there anyway.
It could be. I mean, Ganon's gonna be like, ha ha ha! Did you find the arrows in my tower? And we're not gonna know.
But then the other thing is, if you're imagining it's a tight race, right? And you're thinking, okay, do I spend the time there? Nice triple, by the way. Do I spend the time checking it? Sure, you could say 45 seconds if you get it.
So was that one.
But you but if you waste another 30 seconds checking and still don't get it, then all of a sudden you're even further behind. So I think it's a measured risk to be like, okay, is it likely to be in these? Or you probably could have checked the last one, but
getting really unfortunate with the 2 triple lineups being both doubles because not spaced out correctly, but honestly though, Scottish Brave probably still in their own head with the, we had 2 blind deaths. We had a double or triple dip of MM2. But we got the Ganon fight going on right now. Stab. 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 That's all right. You can take all the damage in the world. We're on red mail. We're on red mail. We have cape and half magic. MM2 picking up the Argus while Scottish Brave is just waiting for this phase 4 to start. Lamp at the ready. How many warps will it go? Nobody knows but Ganon do. Not that bad. The arrow's on Death Mountain. Where
did they put it?
Was it Spike Cave?
It must have been, yeah. Well, wait, is Spike
Aether
Cave?
Tablet.
Yeah, we didn't get an Aether Tablet check.
Nope, we did not.
Yeah.
It's one of those two.
But yeah, it's gonna be Aether Tablet because Spike Cave is Dark World.
I am Ganon. I warp. At the fire. A few more spins here. Scottish Brave should be throwing up the GG. Taking their time. Probably looking at Race Room and going, oh gosh, they're not done yet. Oh gosh, they're not done. You know, like it's that those nerves can start cupping in really fast.
Mean, yeah, it depends. There are different schools of thought. Some people, you know, they just you know, they don't look at it at the end of the seed. They're just finishing it. What's done is done at this point, you know. And especially if you're doing silverless, that's kind of I find that to be a nice way to do it. Just ignore it. Don't care about the results. You just have to execute.
And get
the better
the
you
GGs.
focus, the better you get. We get Charizard looking a little bit like a certain
Like
purple
shiny.
dinosaur there, but
Shiny Charizard is about to cross the bridge into the Pokeball. And Scottish Brave goes undefeated in their group. 6-0, MM2 with a 3-3. Get your GGs out there for Scottish Brave, y'all.
yeah, that is a 159-28.
Just barely sub 2, like with the mess that seed was.
But all is well. Hyrule is safe once again. And we are joined in the booth by Scottish Brave. GG's.
GG, Scottish. Scottish forewarned us right now that they are having mic issues. However, GG's to everyone in chat from them. Well, while we wait for Scottish to join us, it looks like MM2 is still playing here. Preemptively setting up what looks to be a mirror, maybe. Oh. Was that you, Scottish?
I think so. Yeah, it was
There
me.
we go.
Hi.
There we go. GG's.
GG's, thank you very much. Sorry about that. I my computer decided to do a Windows update right before the race, and yeah.
Yep, there was one that came out live, I think not even 6 hours ago. Just really unfortunate.
Yeah, I think it might be that one because I've had an issue before with my computer crashing, like because of stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not even chancing it. Everything's going to get updated and look perfect.
Now, Scottish, I have to ask, with the unfortunate blind deaths and the unfortunate spike chest attempt for Meyer, you must have been feeling pretty behind at the start of this. But,
Oh yeah.
but you had boots at around the 17-minute mark. MM2 did not get those till around the hour and 17 to 20-minute mark.
Oof. Yeah, we were talking about that. I felt horrible. So when we went into blind, and I was like, okay, you got one chance for the script here. Don't mess it up. Right, you've messed it up. Go in and give it one more try. Right, you messed it up. Leave and walk away because I'm starting to get angry now. And so I went off and did some stupid checks that I just shouldn't have done. But it gave me time to calm down. I was like, okay, how many times have you done this fight? Go in, do it. So I went in and did it. And then, like, for about 20 minutes after, I was like, I've lost this now. That's just absolutely cost me the race. I was like, the only out that I have is these boots. And I wonder if these boots will lead to something. Because, like, you know, if they do, that might give me the advantage. And then when I saw the glove, I was like, this is my out. This is my out. If I've got these boots way earlier, then this is it. This is my chance. And I was like, once I get to Light World, I was saying to myself, like, don't mess up. Your route has to be perfect. Your execution has to be perfect. Don't mess this up now because you've maybe gotten out.
Now, actually, even without the glove actually being there on Lumberjack Ledge, you actually came out almost tied with MM2 coming out of Aga. So the routing, like, efficiency wise for boots was just pushing you that much farther and farther ahead. MM2 started focusing on dungeons more so while you were doing Overworld. You had more of a reason to do more of Overworld, obviously, with the glove.
Yeah.
But at that point, efficiency would have just came down eventually to the hammer on that one, with boots being able to cover just simply a lot more.
Yeah. Just I just thought for TR, I was like, I was there and it was Quake, and it was like, oh, we'll just have a quick peek and maybe see if there was, just something nice in there. When I got the boots, I was like, that's really nice.
Yeah, and that was something that MM2 just didn't get to. And it was, we were all pulling for a close race, as we do. And it was, I think the final nail in the coffin where all hope was kind of lost for MM2 was that ice rod in Palace of Darkness, because you had the extra small key from the back of Escape, and so you were able to do that full clear.
Yeah, I was going to aim for Eastern, and it was while I was in Eastern, I looked and I was like, I've got pod big and 4 smalls. I think that's good enough. Let's just risk it. And I always leave the big key chest. And I was starting to get a little panicked when I was going through pod and I wasn't getting anything. And that ice rod was, I don't think I've ever been so happy to ever see an ice rod in my life.
And incredibly, MM2 gets all the way to the back behind Ice Armos, and we still haven't seen the mitts anywhere in this seed.
You know what?
It's gotta be GT Big Chest, right? Or somewhere up in the climb.
Or something.
Yeah, it's we've seen almost every single treasure chest in this game, and yeah, there's just those gloves were so important, finding those early on.
Now, one more thing I actually do want to ask you, Scottish. Just didn't want to find silvers on the climb?
No, I just it with Butter Sword. Yeah, I felt that behind. I was constantly looking over, probably from about Desert onwards. Is every I was trying to ignore the race room, but I couldn't help it. So every 20 seconds, I was sneaking a peek. So no, I was just like, this might come down to being like super close here. Like I feel like even wasting seconds now could cost me this. I felt terrible. Probably right after Blind, I just felt terrible about it.
And we're joined by MM2. Good game, but also rough game, buddy. GG's.
That was yeah, I don't know. I don't really feel bad about my decisions. They were just not the right ones.
Yeah,
that was the story of the seed.
We were saying that here in the commentary booth. We were like, he's doing everything that he knows he can do. Like, if we were in your situation, yeah, like it'd be the same thing. It'd be the exact same. Like, all right, yep, do the Kakariko loop, yep, do your flippers checks, yep, and then I'm pretty sure you and Scottish already talked about it, but the boots difference just was so massive.
Yeah. I got the boots and I was like, okay, well, I need to play as if she also didn't get these boots early, because if she got the boots early, that's just the game. Like,
that's the mentality you have to take as a runner.
Yeah, exactly. And then even more so after getting the glove on Lumberjack behind the boots. I was kind of hoping that I just wouldn't find a glove anywhere and it would just never be required and I could finish gloveless. That would have been funny, but wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, and that's just like one of those things, like Inverted is so volatile that way, especially like in that opening with Inverted Flute. You have so many options of what order you can sort of do the beginning of the game in, depending on how comfortable you are with certain areas of the game with 3 hearts and green mail. Like, and one of you ended up getting Quake and going and getting the boots 15 minutes in, and The other never made it back there until an hour and a half later.
Yeah,
So, like,
and that's just how I choose to route them. I like when I do Skullwoods and in inverted, I choose not to do Skullwoods Big Key Chest because it's slow and usually not worth it. And in this case, it bit me, and that's how this thing goes. But yeah, that's story of the seed. I made the wrong calls.
I mean, well, at the time, you didn't have. This is where it really bit you, as someone who's like able to look at the seed this way. Not scoping out TR's entry and knowing that it was Quake is really what kind of put that nail in the coffin. And it was very early. You did Super Bunny and just save and quit from there.
Yeah,
you didn't check the TR medallion, and if you knew it was Quake, you would have been like, uh-oh.
Yeah, well, I didn't know about Quake existing until like when I got it later.
Yep.
So yeah, I would have been like, oh, this is not great. But
Right. It would have maybe hit that cogwheel in the back of the mind going,
That's the only last logical thing on top of Aga.
Yeah.
but no, sometimes inverted keys just does that. It is in my opinion the most volatile mode for this main tournament, since we are basically essentially playing a grab bag with 5 different modes in play.
Yup.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I know Aussie titles his stream "Grab Bag" when he did his main tournament races. So yeah, this is definitely like the latter grab bag.
Yeah, it's not far off at all.
And then each mode is adjusted slightly, with the exception of, I believe, Ambrosia. Every other mode is really adjusted, and a lot of players in groups, you two included, obviously, have really adjusted pretty well to a lot of the changes. But it seems like inverted keys is kind of the one that keeps on hammering people.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I never played inverted before this tournament.
Hey, me neither.
There's no reason to.
Yeah.
But
like,
yeah, it was about. I wasn't sure whether to come in with it, and then I was like, okay, now I've joined it, I need to start practicing this. So yeah, probably like 2-3 weeks before tournament started, I played inverted for the first time. It's tough.
It's definitely a rough mode.
Yeah, the early game's really rough. And just knowing how to route it's also real rough. I also never played inverted before the tournament because, I mean, I'm an SMZ3 main. I have never had a reason to play inverted, but I just learned it for the tournament, and here we are.
Got to keep diving deep in it. Well, any closing statements from the runners?
GG's to Scottish, great race, and yeah, good luck in bracket.
GG's, and thank you very much for the race as well, and thank you for the restream as well. Thank you both for coming. Jaxie for tracking. Thank you for just having us.
All right, Esmar, it was great commenting with you, brother.
Yeah, likewise.
And with that, everyone, make sure, commentary and the trackers, ourselves kind of excluded. Make sure you guys give the runners a follow. They put up a really good race here. Click that follow button on SpeedGaming4 that way you can keep up with all races for main tournaments and any other randomizers you might be interested in. I believe the Z1R rando tournament is still also going on. Also, the Super 16 SpeedGaming event will be happening here soon. So make sure you give all the SpeedGaming channels a follow. Keep up with all the events that are happening. I'm Jon Snoo, along with Esmar. We're out. GG's, everyone.